All right. Shalom, shalom, my beautiful people out there. Look, I just wanted to do this quick video, really. Um, just to really try to express myself and the joy that I feel and understanding what the kingdom of heaven is like, what it's meant to be, and if only men knew the nature, the joy, the peace of the kingdom that is to come, then I'm 100% sure that when this life starts to pop and when things start to kick off in with spirituality in the world that is now, not to come, that is now. Right now, I'm gonna tell you what it's like. It's a mush, a whole mush of a bunch of things right now. The reality that we live in right now, I'm gonna just say for right now, because I know that I'm sure that when I look at it with the eye of my mind, I could see a little bit further. But I'm gonna go off of the surface of the knowledge that I perceive about right now. There's falsehood. Okay, I guess it did turn into three just that quickly. There's falsehood, and then there's truth. And truth dwells in two places, but falsehood is in the middle. And all things that manifest at a measure is in fact falsehood. All things that have no measure is truth. All things that are measured are falsehood, if you will, manifestation for you all to gather. Because I know when you say falsehood, you like, no one's lying, right? I know that that's something, that's a thought that could arise in some of you. Okay, no one's lying, right? True enough, because though falsehood is falsehood, it still stands as a manifestation, right, of a thing, of a property. It stands as a working. Okay, and so where we dwell at right now is the place of falsehood. We dwell in a mush, okay, of many things, okay, and really that mush is only of two things manifesting in between multiple times. Okay, now we dwell in a place where it isn't all good, neither is it all bad, but it's a mixture of several different types of good and bads in between of the polar. You see, everything is dual, right? And this is one of the hermetic principles. And if y'all don't look real quick, if y'all don't go into the hermetic principles, y'all, this is what carnal mind does with the hermetic principles. People, you take the principles and you're like, oh, okay, they're principles. What's above and what's below and things like that. It's whatever, you know. Okay, these are principles, but no one knows what to do with these principles, right? With the carnal mind can't fully, I'll say partly yes, but fully comprehend what to do with the hermetic principles. I'm gonna put it in words for you right now. Okay? My eyes look and they see. They see all of whatever is a manifestation. Whether it be good, whether it be bad, anything that manifests, anything that is given light, and that light sends off information to my eyes, that also links up with the information within me already. And it causes these two things, the appearance of it and that which I am, to manifest what a thing is for what it is. Okay. And this is a function that happens within my mind. Okay. Within me, and using my eyes to see. I know that the thing is outside, but I know that the only way that the thing can be comprehended for what it is on the outside is if that programming, the software, the structure, the operating system, the core base of all things is written within me, so that when I see a thing I can comprehend it, right? And this is an eternal creation, right? I continue to create meanings to things external, so that I can make sense of my external world. So I must work on these things in both places, okay, internal and external. But when you get to the hermetic principles, above so below, okay. Now I could take the whatever is above so below and go off on a tangent about it, just to open it up even more. I could say what's in it, with that which is internal is also external, okay. That which is to the left is also to the right. I can go in all omnidirectional with as above so below, right? So as to make this a perfect key for myself to see all things, and I just gave it to you. The hermetic principles, when you start to go in all of these principles, chakras, hermetic principles, all these hidden things that y'all think don't really mean anything, for me, each and every one of them become a tool for the workshop of the creation of thoughts and contemplation within my mind, so that I can rightly function, properly see and tell what is before me, right? So, hermetic principle, gendering, male and female. Hermetic principle, polarization, okay? And then the polarization is the one that I'm talking about right now. There are different poles, yes, right? And then in between, the thing is, when you see different poles, the only thing about the kingdom of heaven, or things external from this world, the understanding about things external from this world is that they are absolutes either way, right? A thing is only absolute when it eternally goes that way. Or when it is infinite in that direction, or when it is only that one thing that it strives for, right? So there's love, or hot and cold, okay? There's hot and there's cold, okay? So hot is said to be a polar of cold, right? But the thing is, we know the truth about cold, and that the cold is simply the absence of the heat, okay? And so it becomes the appearance of the opposite of hot, okay? And so using these polar opposites, now hot is also cold to that which is hotter than it. But then cold is also cold to that which is colder than its whatever manifestation you may be looking at. Okay? And so this can continue going on infinitely. Okay? And so heat is a constant heating, okay? Constant growing in temperatures beyond number. That there shouldn't be a limit. If there is a limit, then it does not belong to a power that belongs to the Most High, or an attribute that is the Most High, or a thing that the Most High himself created. Because he creates things to live and constantly grow after their kind. So heat is a growing faction, just as well as cold is a diminishing in growth faction. It almost goes in the negative direction, which is the inward, more of a negative degree as opposed to a positive degree, right? And so it turns inward, right? And it's the absence of heat. And so when you use the hermetic principles, they become to you, if you will, keys, doorways that unlock wisdom ad infinitum. Whenever you think of as above so below, and then you take that function and you look in that direction, or in a direction so as to see where that principle is manifested in the thing that you're looking at, you will uncover for yourself an infinite source of knowledge, right? wisdom, right? And so it unlocks a whole world of as above, so below. It unlocks a whole world of gender. It unlocks a whole world of things that cater to that specific principle, foundation, base of a thing. Knowledge, right? And the Father is the base of all knowledge, which unlocks everything for us to comprehend and know. And so when you start to get into things like, for example, the Enochian keys, okay, which I've read these as well, okay. I think there are 18 of them. In the 19th one or the 18th one is one that is we can't get to that level. That's where the Most High belongs, and no man can enter in. But you can contemplate and look and know a little something about it, so as to understand the infiniteness of your Father. But all that to say, all of the keys and wisdoms that are written in the Word of God, proverbs and principles and teachings and things like that, they all stand as eyes, or if you will, stars, with which you can put the glasses on and look through. While I have no glasses, everything is a blur to me. But when I put on my glasses, I can clearly see each and every line. Okay? And these are the exact same thing. This is a Hermetic principle, where as above, so below. And so I take that Hermetic principle, I put on those glasses, and I look. And the thing is, with the mind, you can put on multiple glasses and contemplate a single thing just that quickly. Y'all don't understand I'm gonna tell you my mind. Y'all, if you could only understand what I'm telling you right now, all of y'all gonna start putting on your glasses so that you can see, bruh. Look, so you take these principles of wise and ancient men, okay, who they use those principles to see, so that they can understand what you look like, so they know what's going on about you, right? And so all of these principles start to unlock the processing of your mind, so that you're able to see what's going on the inside of you. Every single thing that goes on the inside of you. See, the things that I'm even telling you right now, even though I don't recall the principles before I begin to use them, it just seems that the contemplation I spent on them to get more understanding of why it is above and why it is below. When I see gathering understanding is a honing of your skill, your mental skill, if you will. So when you don't leave off until you understand, this is telling the Most High that, like Jacob, you will not let him go until he blesses you. Okay, and if anything, blesses you with the understanding. So in all thy getting, get understanding, because understanding unlocks within for you to see the processing of your own self, so that you can also realize that that same processing is in everyone around you, everything around you. And so you unlock a whole world of teachings, right? And the thing I see is that if every man get the understanding of the kingdom of heaven, people, if y'all get the understanding of what he's actually trying to give us, what he's trying to show that we are, that we have inherited, all of you will drop all your carnal things right now and run to that which is best, that which is worthwhile, that which is more valuable than all things. But we live in a mush right now. And the thing is, you could rejoice in the mush, and you can also sorrow in the mush, okay? Everything jumbled all in one. Right now, we live in both the kingdom of hell and the kingdom of heaven simultaneously. That's the thing y'all don't understand. We live in both polarizations, steady trying to pull man towards its direction, right? But man has been going towards the polar opposite of that which is absent of the heat. You understand what I'm saying? He's been going in the polar opposite. But the thing is, we are on a pendulum swing. So as above, so below. Yes, you may have the pendulum may have swung, if you will, to the evil side of life. But the thing is, that pendulum is coming back now, and we getting ready to swing eternally, if you will, to the higher side of life. But the pendulum has been doing this. Watch and see what my hand does. It does this. It swings to the bad side, and then it swings a little further to the bad side, so as to when it swing back, it doesn't swing back all the way with all its force. And so the swing has been constantly moving like this to the left. Okay, but now the pendulum is swinging so high, or going to swing so high to the right, that it's going to push the whole pendulum, whereas when you get to the lower end of the pendulum, it still will appear as good, but yet it's still a lower form of that which is the higher good. And so the more you go for the higher good, the less your pendulum will swing towards the evil. And so you want your pendulum out. If you do the math, you got your zero right here, and then your negatives, and then your zero here, and then your positives on the side, and this is the chart. And so the pendulum needs to be swinging left and right, all on the positive side. That's what you want. And I know I'm saying some crazy stuff to you, but you want everything on the positive side, and you want your whole pendulum swinging on that side, so that even if you swing to the left, where you may make some mistakes, where you may do some things wrong, where you may trip up, you still want that trip up to turn out to turn out for good. And you don't want it to be like you in a prison, in a dungeon, and you suffering great horror and dealing with sorrow and things like that. You could respect a pendulum that swings on the good side, and you say, Father, I will take this rebuke and I will let it work in me, because I know I don't want a greater rebuke that deals with me having to deal on the negative side when things hurt me. But I want positive things to drive me to you, and not negative things to drive me to you. And these are the things that this is the thing, the very thing. We are now living in both hell and heaven right now, while on earth, simultaneously. 3 different places: heaven, earth, and hell. And right now we dwell on earth, people, where heaven and hell are trying to weed us out and harvest us, if you will, to whichever kingdom, the hellish kingdom or the heavenly kingdom, you will go to and be a part of that kingdom. You understand what I'm saying? And out of that kingdom, you must learn to survive. You must learn to live, and you must learn to do these things. So those who are in spirituality must learn to live by it. You understand? And those who are evil are naturally are being forced or caused, if you will, not as if they're studying to live the evil life. They want to live their own carnal life. They study to live how they want to live. You understand what I'm saying? So they don't study to live carnally. No one's really out there, if you will. Sorry, no one's out there studying to live carnally. People are just being tossed in the wind and being caused to live carnally, not knowing that that's exactly what they're doing. But the thing is, those principles that I talked about from the very beginning unlocks your understanding so that you can see yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So that you can know. It gives you keys that will unlock your understanding about your own reality, because you need to take everything you study and cater it towards you and stop looking at others, so that you can get the understanding. This is the only way you're going to get the understanding, is when you deal with things that pertain to you and nobody else, right? What people do, if they do it around you, then they're within your parameter. They're within your environment. So you deal with that situation as if you're dealing with a task the Father gave you. You understand what I'm saying? So you deal with all things around you, within your company, within your surroundings, as if the Father gave you all things around you to handle according to his word of God, according to every word that he speaks. You understand what I'm saying? And so the Son does this with a heart that's pure, a heart that's right. He does good because that is his Father. He does right because that is his Father. He prides himself in doing the things of the Most High. He acts according to truth because that is his Father, right? And so the Son aims to do everything that 100% pleases the Father. And so the Father unlocks his understanding so that he can see the tree of life, the tree of good and evil, that once he ate the fruit of and got lost in the evil thereof, the essence of evil therein, the lust therein. Okay, and so he overcame that lust, and so now, though the tree may also be in him and a part of him now, and he can't get rid of it, he will always have the ability to have these different these paradoxical understandings, these parallel understandings, these polar understandings, right? All of these forms of understandings he has to use at his disposal, right? His arsenal, right? So as to overcome the wiring in man right now. Right now, every one of y'all don't realize it, but you're wired wrong, okay? You're wired according to carnal things, and when you all finally realize that you're wired to these carnal things, then you're going to enter into the kingdom of heaven, or you're going to want something better, which will the better be the spiritual life, the kingdom of heaven. The better will be this. And so when all of y'all start learning, and I'm gonna tell you how you're gonna get there too. Carnal life has lost its sustenance. Point blank period. We need to go ahead and put that stamp out there. Carnal life will no longer be supplied anymore. No material, because carnal life only is supplied through materialism, and materialism is dwindling away. Man can't control it. Man can't handle it right now. Okay, this is going to be a key factor in your altering the consciousness of your mind, right? This is 100% a key factor. When you understand that there is no more value in a thing, you pass on to the thing that has value. When everyone understands that there's no more value in carnal life. You see, the Israelites, if you will, who have been scattered all over the world, if you will, if anything, here in America, we've worn every crown that America has to offer us. We've filled every office that America has to offer us to the highest presidential seat. We filled it all, people. Something different happened right before your very eyes. And now carnal life is measured up because of the simple fact that the prophecy surrounding the people of Israel striving for something better right now. Everybody wants something better. Everybody wants that good leader, that good person to stand up and do the right thing that helps everybody live their carnal life the way that they want to live their carnal life, right? That's what's happening right now. No one's voting people into office because this is a man of God. Which one of y'all voted because Biden is a man of God, or Trump was a man of God, or Obama was a man of God, or Bush was a man of God, or Kennedy? Y'all, now one of y'all put your hands down there, okay? If you will, now one of y'all in this current life, because there may have been some who had it in the past. Oh, this is a God-fearing man. Let me vote for him. But right now, the state of our consciousness, y'all want the carnal life. You want the president that's going to free up you to do your sin, to live your life in the way that you sinfully want to live, you carnally want to live. Y'all not voting for men of God to change this thing or to unveil the spiritual kingdom. Y'all not voting for that type of understanding. right? When you go to vote, you just want something carnal so that you can continue to live this carnal life. You want to make America better for you to live in. You don't vote for spiritual kingdom. You vote to make America, if you will. You vote to make America great so that in it you could live greatly. You could live peacefully. You could live whatever way that you want to live. But the Father said, no, no, no. You all need to understand. You can't live in one kingdom and claim to live in another, right? You're going to choose which kingdom that you're going to live in. Right now, all of y'all, make your choice. Choose the carnal life if you want it. Keep living your life only concerned with yourself, right? You want to live, you want to get that good job, you want to have that family and that white picket fence, that American dream that this world promised you. You want to fight, you want to live your life aiming for the goals that the America has put within its kingdom for men to earn, right? But none of y'all can go for the spiritual goals, right? Because if you ever decide you want to start living in the kingdom of heaven, you will find polar opposites of how you ought to be considered and treated when you know this thing is rightly yours. You will see polar opposites manifesting all around you. There will be contrary and things that come up against you because you're trying to live in a kingdom that's not this kingdom. When you live in a kingdom, when you live in a kingdom according to another, when you live in one kingdom according to the rules of another kingdom, then you will be imprisoned. You will be something is going to come up against you, right? You won't have the rights that those who accept the kingdom, the lot that those who accept the kingdom have. You won't have their lot. Their lot is to have that family, that white picket fence, the right to happiness in the pursuit of the happiness I put before you to have. To be happy in my kingdom, this is how you got to live, right? This is the money you got to spend, right? These are the jobs you got to have, right? These are the things, family. And so the kingdom itself is presenting you all these things and y'all run right for it. But then I see something that the spiritual kingdom is absolutely presenting to us and giving us the right to have. And I want that. So I give my life for it. I die for it. You understand what I'm saying? And if I ain't strong enough now, I'm right now working to make sure that my mind becomes strong enough for it. You understand what I'm saying? I don't count myself fully powerful and capable of doing certain things, right? But I know that I can gain the strength to do it. Because I'm not limited to anything in the spiritual kingdom, right? Yeah, in this carnal kingdom, I'm limited. But in the spiritual kingdom, I'm not. So, now, everyone who is for whatever kingdom they choose to be, that kingdom will, or is obligated, if you will, to protect you, to sustain you, to provide for you. That kingdom, all subjects of a kingdom, where there is a king, okay, he must create laws that cares for every single one of his citizens, every single person that is within his walls. He must protect, he must provide for, he must show forth opportunities, he must set these things up, right? And so when you go for the carnal kingdom, you can't receive the things that are destined or the lot of those that live in the spiritual kingdom, and vice versa. When you go for the spiritual kingdom, you are cut off from the lot that you ought to receive in the carnal kingdom. So you become dead to the world, a nothing to the world. They look at you and shun you. Their shunning is a blessing. Their looking at you contrary is a blessing, because that is the covering of the Most High. That's how it looks. It just looks ugly. It looks horrible, but it keeps away the evil. It keeps away those from mingling with you and destroying your contemplation and your thinking in the Father that he worked so hard on in you. And so don't be unequally yoked with non-believers, right? Family, the things that may appear horrible that happens to the righteous, they understand it fully. and know for a simple fact that these things that may appear horrible, you may have been, it may have appeared to, you may have appeared to be wronged, right? But it is in fact the hand, the covering hand, the teaching hand of the Father. When the Father is teaching you, it might appear to be ugly, but the essence that you get from the lesson is the sweetest of all things. You see, the Father ain't concerned about how things appear. He's concerned about what's going to come out of it if I put this one, that one through. You understand? If this is a fire I kindle, if I put you through, or her through, you understand what I'm saying? I have already assessed them. I know that they are strong enough and able to go through it. So I'm going to put them through that fire. And so when they go through that fire, they're going to cook in sorrow or cook in hardship or struggle, if you will. And they're going to learn through that struggle by correcting everything in that struggle, how to overcome that struggle. And eventually that struggle it won't go anywhere. Here's the thing. It's not like it went anywhere, as in to say a seasonal struggle, even though there are seasons for this and seasons for that. But it manifests, if you will, as a struggle for you to overcome by way of fulfillment of all that the struggle requires from you. And so it goes away in a sense of being fulfilled or being achieved or being controlled or being placed under your order, in your rulership. And so you say to yourself, Father, whatever comes in my vicinity, I will think the way you have taught me to think. I will consider the way you have taught me to consider. And these considerings will become my own considerings eventually. But at first, it'll be a struggle, and you'll feel as if you're doing something someone else told you, until a point where, because the Father, in his invisible nature to the carnal eyes, because it appears he's not there, you don't realize that those things that had he been there had he been a physical thing in your presence, you would always lean on him for the thing itself. But because he's not there, you stand up on your own twos and go to doing it on your own twos and only listening to the dictates and the alterations and to the inclinations and intents of the Father for you in your life. And you do these things. You do them so well that through wisdom and love for the Father, there's a union that happens that causes you to gain the mastery over your situations. And gaining that mastery will begin to teach you people. Will begin to cultivate you and grow you spiritually. Not carnally, not fleshly. For your growth fleshly happens natural, but your growth spiritually happens because of you. Happens because you're making it happen. You make your spirit grow by obeying the word of the Most High. If you want to feel like you're the one doing it, even though your faith in him leads you to him, guides, and your trust in him, your obedience of him will guide you in the right way, but you play it. You play that you're not the joystick, you the character in the game playing. You understand what I'm saying? And all of your members, your whole existence, your body, everything about you becomes a part of this of your life and the workings of your life. You understand what I'm saying? And so the main thing you need to be working is to see the difference between heaven and hell. And in this difference, people, you will be able to piece two kingdoms for the one purpose, and that is to do the will of your Father. You see, though the hellish kingdom may appear to be bad, it has its purpose so that you may understand the good. And so man has birthed all this evil and bad around us, right? So much. And no one's been working on the spiritual kingdom so that the spiritual kingdom can be the first and the first and foremost before our eyes, right? You see, y'all can't see the spiritual kingdom. Y'all can't see brothers. I'm talking about a nation full of nothing but men of God. You can't see that, right? And you can't see the power that's going to come from these men who are nationally sons of God, right? And let them all stand side by side and let you see the huge host of men that are wiser than your carnal life. Better, and it has gone through the wire, right? And these men, let them loose in the earth. They're going to start correcting everything, getting everything right. And now one of them is going to do it with a sword. I'm talking about a physical sword. Now one of them is going to operate. No one in the spiritual can be in the spiritual operating carnally, doing things the way that the carnal mind has contemplated things to be done, right? The carnal mind thinks that there needs to be a killing, there needs to be a destruction, there needs to be this. But then the spiritual takes the words like killing and destruction and turns it into how they do it spiritually. And so they kill the prophet, if you will, spiritually by simply cutting off his words from entering into them. And so to them, that prophet is dead, right? And then they make sure that that all those that are around understand, so they speak the wisdom of why they cut this prophet off or why this prophet is dead to them, right? And so the prophet standing there may seem alive and he may be breathing, right? But he is truly dead, right? And now the thing is, the power, the essence that's going to run through the men of God, when a thing is dead to them being the sons of God, a thing is dead, period. Because now they stand on a plateau of what is called the Son of God, right? And the Son of God has dominion and power. And so when a man achieves this state of mind, Son of God, that is a state of mind. That's the thing y'all need to understand. When men achieve the state of mind of Son of God, everything must respect his authority, right? As if they were respecting the authority of the Most High, because if he truly is in the state of mind of Son of God, all that he do would only be nothing but what the Father would do in any and every and all situations. Because they want to do what he would do, his will, right? And so that will may become theirs, because whatever he chooses to do in their life, in every situation, right? And a lot of y'all know exactly what the Father would do for you yourself in your life, right? Right now, every one of y'all know exactly what the Father would do for you to make sure that you get on the right track. Because every one of y'all know, if you like me, which you are, every one of y'all know exactly the right thing to do, but you strive to do it, to make sure that your life, not according to anything carnal, but to make sure that your life is standing in the will of God. You understand what I'm saying? Every one of y'all know which sins you need to let go, even though you may not be able to put a right understanding in as to how to let them go. You know that they're there. You know you can freely overcome them, right? But you freely let them overcome you. And that's the thing. And so keeping the sins, keeping the commandments, and doing the will of the Most High, right? And going and shunning your sins and rebuking your sins, right? These will begin to tell your sins the very essence thereof. The essence of sin is what comes from a demon. You understand what I'm saying? And a demon is only what man cooked up, so as to be a evil type of thinking, an evil type of way. And lust is taught throughout the earth. Pride is taught throughout the earth. Gluttony is taught, you understand? And it's taught through simply an image. Even you look at these videos and these musics and these songs, we are all learning. Oh, they look good up there, you know what I mean? We're all learning how to live this carnal life. But the sustenance of it is dead now. people. Y'all gonna keep fighting for these carnal things, and you're gonna be hurt when they all disappear, when it's all gone. Because it's got to go in order for this thing to be level. Like I said in a long time ago video. But y'all don't know what y'all missing out on. While y'all steady going at these carnal things, y'all don't understand that when y'all finally realize that all of this has nothing to do with matter itself, but with all spirit, when you find out all of this is spirit, that's when you're gonna start living in a world completely different from that which you're used to living. You understand what I'm saying? That's when you're gonna start living in the right world. But you got to overcome. You got to overcome. You can't just sit there. You can't stand there. You got to stand up and fight and overcome so that you can live in that spiritual world. And then while the carnal world is deteriorating, as it did during the great flood, the time of the great flood, the carnal life is deteriorating. All y'all fighting for, these buildings y'all going to, this life, you might as well look at it as a thing that is passing. You see, even basketball is losing its grip on living its carnal life, right? This coronavirus thing has shut down a lot of carnal living, right? You don't think y'all? The thing is, y'all actually don't think it can get worse than that. That's the problem. Y'all think it's all measured up. You don't realize that it's going to get worse. Because we're dealing with a pendulum, a swing of a pendulum that's turning around right now. And so in order for that pendulum to turn around, it's got to blow away, clean up, and fix and do all of these things. And cleaning up is a messy process. You know, who can clean? Like, who can clean a dirty mess? A dirty mess in a clean way. You understand? If you clean a dirty mess, you're gonna clean it like it's a dirty mess. You're gonna put things here and make sure that they're there and organize here and sweep up that dirt. And a sweeping is almost like a tempestuous process, right? To sweep that thing away, to vacuum that thing out of there. You know what I mean? All of these tools, and then to use your cleaning pestilence or your cleaning solutions to wipe it all away. This is the process that's happening, but on a bigger scale. For the fires are wiping you all away, blowing you all away, and vacuuming you all away. Like, there's cleaning going on in here right now. Y'all can't even see it. You know, it's just that y'all can't see the Father with a broom in his hand. Y'all can't see him doing nothing but cleaning right now, and y'all only see the carnal life, and you try to make an excuse of it, right? Y'all can't see what the Father's actually doing. He cleaning house right now, because it's about to be harvest time, people. In fact, it actually already is. See, that's the thing y'all don't realize. There's a great separation going on in the earth. That's the reason why that separation appears ugly. The carnal have to look at a thing with disgust to stay away from it. If they admire a thing, they will surround themselves by it. But if they do not admire the sons of God, they will stay away from the sons of God because they're carnal minded. And all they see is external things. So they will be, in their mind, the Father will work a disgust or a shunning of you in them so that he can have you alone. Y'all got to understand how the Father's work don't always appear pretty like y'all want it to appear, but it always works the good, period. It may not always appear pretty, but it will always work good. And it will always work good for the favor of those that keep his commandments. The thing is, y'all think that there's a getting around that. You think that there's a loophole about that. There is no loophole. That is an absolute and perfect function in the Most High. Enough to be a principle itself, but it goes higher than a principle and stands as law. Y'all don't understand what law means. That's law. And we say it all the time, you know. Man law, woman law, you know what I mean? That's law. Well, Son of God law. And the Father has laws that protect him. You understand what I'm saying? And they may, and the son, even though he may see something manifest in that individual that may seem to hurt him, he knows that the will of the Father has caused it to be, so that what may manifest, the connection, the link, the whatever may manifest, either separate from me or a part of my world and my environment. But I done had people hate me in the worst ways possible, only to in the end find out that it was the work and the will of the Most High, and so that he can get me where he wants me to be. And I'm happy and pleased with every single bit of it. I went out into the world, studied the world, learned the world each and every day, observed the world, saw what y'all was all about. I didn't like it. Not even the wife and the family, none of it. I didn't, it all was likely to tear me away from the will or from the Father that I serve. Every single one of it. It became something different from what it used to be. Getting a wife ain't what it used to be. The things I used to read about in the past and in the book of, in the Word of God. Having a wife ain't nothing like that no more. And so I don't want it. I don't like it. Having a child ain't like that no more. Having a success or a business like Boaz ain't like that no more. You understand what I'm saying? Where people were respectful and people were good. All the things ain't like that no more. What has the world become? Do you want that? What is the world right now today? Do you want that? Make that firm decision. And when you say you don't want it, don't worry yourself with how it looks when it starts to reject you or you reject it. Don't worry about the hot mess it appears to be. Just know that the Father is a working. He's always a working. See, y'all think that he's going to work for somebody else and not for you. You look at others and you're like, oh, I wish the Father did that for me. You don't understand. He's already doing it. The Father works infinitely and he always pours out his blessing as the sun pours out its blessing. I'm talking about the S-U-N, sun, pours out its mighty rays of blessings onto the earth so that things can grow. The Father is constantly pouring out his blessing just like that, family. And there is no day and night like you think. The sun pours out his blessing on this side and then on that side. No, the Father is all-encompassing, pouring out his blessing everywhere, always, all the time. So that the very breath I breathe and the working that's in me and the words I speak are his and his alone, every single bit of it. And that which is the Father's, I will feel like it's me. Like it's part of me. All that which belongs to me that's in him, I will feel as if it's me. You understand what I'm saying? These are the confirmations when I understand that a thing belongs to me. When it feels like it's me. I'm talking about me to the very core and essence of who I am. Not a material thing, no. But a thing like, oh, this is my understanding of wisdom? Oh, okay. And you're telling me I can grow and increase my understanding, even though my understanding stands here, I can also increase and grow it higher than that? Okay. So how do I do that? I got to get to work. Okay, so where do I gather my understanding? Understanding comes from the point of experience, okay? What is the point of experience but me doing the very thing itself, right? So that I get the highest understanding from it. And so I do the word of God, the will of the Most High. So that out of everything that I do, so that, and I make sure I do his will so that in a dream when he comes to me trying to give me pork or something like that, I could say, no, I don't want to eat that because I don't put anything common or unclean in within my system, right? So I can do what the Father expects me to do. And he expects me to keep his word so that then he can relay to me a true message. In my understanding, I know he's going to refuse this. And I know that when he refuses it, I can say this to him. And that will be the Father manipulating me, if you will. Because he knows that he is in me. His word is in me. And I will keep it and obey it. So he will manipulate me so as to cause me to do better and higher in my understanding. But look, that's enough. I just talk about that. I got a phone call. I'm going to take this phone call. Look, y'all, peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.